Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm preparing our Father's Day meal. My husband has requested a roast for Father's Day, and I'm so happy because not only is that delicious, but it's really easy. I'm starting with a 2.5 pound chuck roast, and I'm just sprinkling it with a little kosher salt and a little bit of black pepper. Not too much pepper. Be careful with that because we're going to sear this before we put it in the oven, and so too much black pepper will burn. So you can add as much as you want to at the end, but not too much in the beginning. I've got my cast iron skillet, and I'm going to put my burner on medium high. What I'm going to do is sear this roast. I want to get a nice crust on it. That's going to ensure that we seal in these juices and make this delicious and tender. Now I've added my salt and pepper, and I'm going to put just a little bit of flour on both sides. This is going to help this roast to brown nice and evenly, and it's also going to be a thickening agent for our gravy. I'm going to add a little bit more at the end, but this is just going to help it along a little bit. Now I'm just going to rub that in, and I'm going to get this on all sides. We're not only going to brown the top and bottom, but I'm going to brown all sides of this. Now this looks perfect. While my pan's heating up, I'm going to go wash these hands, and I'll be right back. Now, instead of using oil to brown my roast, I use butter. I think butter makes everything better, and it also helps to get a nice pretty color on this roast. It's going to do a better job not only flavoring it, but also providing that pretty color that we're looking for in our pot roast. I'm going to keep the butter close just in case I find that I need a little bit more. Now, let me go ahead and drop this down. Isn't this a beautiful piece of beef? In Alabama, it is a state proclamation to serve beef on Father's Day. Yep, that is right. Back in the late 1950s, I believe, the Alabama Cattlewomen's Association went to the governor, and they presented a proclamation that beef should be served on Father's Day. And since that time, a proclamation has been signed by every Alabama sitting governor to this day. I actually got to go to Montgomery, to our capital, this week and watch as Governor Kay Ivey signed the proclamation. And that was such a great experience. That was my very first time in our state capitol. And I will say that I was quite impressed with not only the capitol, but Governor Ivey herself. She is such a gracious Southern woman. And might I add that she's quite tenacious. She's done a great job for our state. Now, what I'm going to do is just sear this until I get a nice golden brown color. And I'm going to do this on all sides. We're not cooking it, we're just searing it. And always remember, when you're searing something, color means flavor. We don't want to burn it, but we want to get it nice and dark because that's going to bring out all of the rich flavors of this beef. Let's give this a look and see if it's ready to flip. Ooh, that's looking good. See all of that? It's exactly what we want. And there's still plenty of butter left in the pan. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side and all around. This looks just right. Now, if you like onions, mushrooms, rosemary, thyme, all of those delicious things in your pot roast, now is the time to add them. Go ahead and remove your roast, sear your mushrooms and your onions in those nice drippings, and then add your roast back to it. My husband is a purist when it comes to pot roast, so I am just adding the basics. But please, by all means, add whatever it is that you like. I'll tell you something that's really good in this is some of those peppercini peppers, like a Mississippi pot roast. Yum. Well, my seasoning is a can of beef consomme. And I'm just pouring this right over the top. This helps to make the most delicious gravy. I usually have a little bit of water on hand, just making sure that I have enough liquid, but I think this is perfect. I don't need to add any water. And I will give you a little tip. A lot of times when I don't have the beef consomme, I'll just use a couple of beef bouillon cubes. They work really, really good. Now, I'm putting this lid on tight. My oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and this is going in the oven for 2 hours. I won't look at it. I won't lift the lid. Once the 2 hours is up, I'll remove this from the oven, let it rest, and then we'll make that delicious gravy. I'll see you then. The roast has finished cooking, and I just have to say that the whole house smells amazing. Oh, there's nothing like the smell of a good roast beef in the oven. Now, obviously, I've taken this out of the oven and I've let it cool down just a little bit so that when I took off the lid from the pot, it did not scald everything. So now I've got the drippings and that good beef consomme back on my burner, and I'm just going to make a little bit of gravy to go on this. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of these drippings and make what you call a slurry with them. Yum. Now, if you want to, you can just give this a taste and see what it needs and serve it just like this. It's delicious over the roast beef and with your mashed potatoes, but I am going to thicken it up just a little bit. And so I'm going to take some of my flour and then add about 2 tablespoons. I don't want it too thick, but I want it to be a little bit more substantial. That way, when I put it on top of the mashed potatoes, it doesn't run off into my plate. So I'm stirring this, and as you can see, my drippings are starting to come to a nice little boil here, and I'm going to turn down my heat. And I'm adding this right in. I'm just going to keep stirring until the flour cooks, and this is going to make a delicious gravy. Using your warm drippings is going to help to keep the lumps away. You don't want lumpy gravy. Look at this beautiful gravy. Look at that dark, rich color. Oh, yum. We always like lots of gravy. Now I'm going to give it a taste and see if it needs a little more seasoning. That is just perfect. Now, if you find that your gravy gets a little bit thick, then just keep some water. And I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit. And that's perfect. So you can make it as thin or as thick as you like. I'm turning off my heat. That flour has cooked up perfectly. And now I am going to pour this. Look at all of this deliciousness. Oh my goodness. Now, I just want to give it a little taste. Father's Day is tomorrow. We're going to get up, go to church, and together with the family afterwards. And I'm trying to make as much ahead of time as I can. I will put this in the oven, let it warm up, and slice it right before we're ready to eat it. But I cannot put this away without trying it first. Oh my goodness. Y'all, look at this beautiful roast beef. It's fork tender. Oh, my dad, which by the way, happy Father's Day, Dad, always says the proof's in the pudding. Well, let's see. Y'all, this is perfection. I know that Jimmy's gonna love it. It's tender, it's packed full of that good beefy flavor. I wish I'd have made a bigger roast because I know that there will be no leftovers with this. But if there was, there's nothing better than 2 pieces of white bread, a little mayonnaise, salt and pepper, and a big slab of this roast beef. I hope that you'll make this for your family. Beef, it's what's for dinner at our house. And happy Father's Day to all of you dads out there, and happy Father's Day to mine. I love you, Dad. You're a blessing to me. Thanks so much for watching, and will you press that like button and share this video? That would really bless me. Well, I will see you next time. It's going to be a happy Father's Day at our house.